Hello, everyone. How are you doing? How are you doing? Look, it is so awesome to welcome you all back. We are here for season two. Yes, indeed. We are here for season two of the conversation. And in this season, we are talking about who is she now? We are talking about who is the woman, who is the person that we have become, that the struggles and the challenges and things that we've been through, how it has made us grown, how it has helped us grow, and how it has, influenced us and impacted us to be who we are today. The women that you see today, how it has built our character. So I'm so excited to be in season two of the conversation. I am your host, Andrea B. Flintroy. And again, I am so excited to have you today. So now, if you are part of the conversation community and you have been rocking with me since season one, hey, I just want to tell you thank you and hello and welcome back. But if you are not a part of the conversation community and you're like, well, wait a minute, they kind of get a little special treatment. You're right, they do get special treatment, but you can also be a part of the conversation community. How? You can join the conversation community by three ways: like the conversation, share the conversation, and also make a comment. Because one thing about the conversation is it is a conversation, it is a discussion, not only between me and my guests, but also with you as the community. You have questions, you have thoughts, you want to express your needs, your desires, you can do that because that's what the conversation is designed for. It is designed to help you to be encouraged, to be empowered, and to be educated along your journey. So, but without any further ado, because I know I am very excited and I hope you are too, because again, this is season two. Won't God do it? Season two. But without any further ado, I want to welcome my guest. Yes. I want to welcome my guest, NeKedra Rodgers. If I had some sound. Who also goes by Optimistically Key. Yes, Optimistically Key. So, Optimistically Key, she is an influencer, she is a speaker, she is an author, she is all of the things. And the most important thing, she is from Louisiana. Yes, she is born and raised of a Louisianian. Even though she might have tiptoed a little bit to the left to Texas, she is still Louisianian. But she also believes that ministering to broken women who have lost their way and are searching for their purpose is what God has called her to do. And so that's exactly what she's going to do on tonight, is to give us hopeful information, because she strongly believes that we move from being hopeless to discovering and being hopeful through being optimistic. So, without any further ado, Optimistically Key, hello.
Well, hello, Andrea. Thank you so much for that introduction. And thank you for this space that you are providing for women like me to be able to come on your show and have a conversation with you, to be able to encourage other people, because it's all about kingdom building. It's
Yeah.
all about bringing people to God and letting people know that He is the answer and He is the way.
Mhm.
So I thank you for this time and this opportunity. Yes, I am from the boots. Monroe, Louisiana, 318. Stand up. Yes, North Louisiana. Yes. But I live in Texas. I've been in Texas for over 20 years, so I love it here. So, but I still rep the boot too.
Yes, of course. Come on, representing the boot. Yes. And so, Optimistically Key. So, can you give the community, the conversation community, can you tell us a little bit about some challenges that you have gone through to help that has helped you build or has impacted you to be the woman that you are today, the speaker, the author, the influencer that you are today?
Absolutely. So there are so many things that have happened in my life, and at the time when I was going through it, you don't know, what it's for. You don't know what the purpose in it. You just know that it hurts you, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
full of pain, and you just want it to be over. So I think about different things that happened to me, like when I was younger. I was with my uncle one time, and we were going to school. I went to school with my uncle. He was one of my teachers in the sixth grade, and on the drive home, he took me on a different route, and we went to one of his friends' house, someone that I had never seen before. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm with my uncle, so I get out, and think that everything is okay because I'm with someone that I know, someone
Yes.
that's going to protect me, right? So the man, we go into the house, and he started asking me questions about what do I think would happen if someone steals, what happens to them? And I'm like, they go to jail. I'm 11 years old. That's my answer, right? You do bad things, you get locked up. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So then he started asking me questions about, well, I heard that you stole something and you need to fess up to it. And I'm like, I did. Well, what was it? And then my uncle's like, you stole my wife's jewelry. Mind you, I had a handful of jewelry at the time. I used to wear a lot of jewelry. My mom kept me with rings and things. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking to myself, why would I want to steal someone's jewelry when I have my own? But he kept pressing me and pressing me and pressing me, saying that I had done it, and just trying to force me into admitting something that I had not done. And it went so much to the fact where this gentleman, he grabbed me and he bound me and put my hands behind my back and was just handling me in a very forceful way. And my uncle was just watching. It was like
Mm.
he set this up, set this up to happen to me, for me to encounter this that was going on. And he was just looking, my uncle that was supposed to protect me, who my mom sent me to school to learn from, the one that she trusted me with every day, things like that, but they never got that answer out of me, because why? I didn't do it. And I just cried and I
Mm.
cried and I cried. I went home, I told my mom about it. No one ever said they were sorry. No one ever said, I hate that you had to go through with this. Even when they found the true culprit of who actually took the jewelry, I still was never given an apology. It
Mm.
was just like you sweep it under the rug as if nothing has happened. You just don't talk about things like that. That's something with our community. When traumatic events happen, especially when it happens within the family, you don't discuss it. You don't put
Mhm.
other people in your business, but in actuality, it can have a effect on you, and you carry it with you because you never have dealt with things like that. And so it determines how you deal with certain people, and you keep certain people at bay. You have hard trust issues and things of that
Yeah.
sort, because people come into your life, and you think that they may be trying to help you, but no, they have an ulterior motive,
Mhm.
things like that. But God teaches us about forgiveness, and if we want God to forgive us, then we have to forgive others as well. It's up to to us what we do with that. We can let go of that hurt, or we can allow it to live with us in the inside forever and ever, and just boil over. And
Yeah.
then we never deal with it, and then we have all of these things that are happening to us, and different breaks and mental issues and breakdowns, because we haven't dealt with things in the proper manner
Mhm.
when we were young. I actually just came from an event that highlighted women mortality and infant mortality. And I thought back to my miscarriages. It immediately took me,
Mhm.
me going to the doctor expecting to hear my baby's heartbeat. And
Yeah.
instead of hearing a heartbeat, I see an empty sac that's shrinking. And the doctor said, well, we're going to
Mm.
do some tests on you. We're going to do some blood work to confirm. And if that is so, I'll go ahead and put you on the schedule 2 days later so that you can have a DNC, because my body didn't do what it was supposed to do naturally for the process. So
Yes.
for 2 days, I'm just thinking, well, maybe, it was just a fluke, and I'm gonna be able to have this baby. But in actuality, I had a miscarriage. It was confirmed with my blood work, and I was rolled down that surgery hallway, and the nurse just wiped the tears from my eyes, and I
Mm.
just realized that I wouldn't be having a baby that day. And that was my very first time being pregnant, so just things like that, just being devastated and thinking, why did it not happen to me? What did I do? Everyone that I know, they get pregnant and they have babies.
Yeah.
So why is it being so different from me? But then when I experienced things like that, it allowed me to go search in God's word, and it allowed me to just pour everything out to him and just cry out to him and just say, Lord, I need you to help me. Lord, I need you to strengthen me. I need you to cover me. I need you to keep me, because right now I don't even know if I can make it. I'm
Yeah.
struggling. And you don't want to talk about those things when people ask you, how are you doing? Oh, I'm okay. I'm doing fine. But
Mhm.
in actuality, you're hurting inside,
Yeah.
and no one, you feel as if no one understands what you're going through. No one can relate. But that's the trick of the enemy. He wants you to believe that no one knows what you're going through, so you can be
Mhm.
isolated, when that's not the time. You need to draw to other people, and you'd be surprised if you open up. They have experienced things too that can help you, that along your
Yeah.
journey, they can relate to you. So my biggest thing is just learning to be open and sharing my stories, because I have learned that they have been the lifeline for some people.
Mm. And I like that how you called it the lifeline, because you're absolutely right, because it helps so many other people are as they are going through, or as they are on their journey. A lot of times we don't want to share because we really feel like we're going to be judged, or we feel as though no one is going to accept us or
Mhm.
accept the experiences that we had along our journey. But like you said, it's a lifeline of helping someone else, because we don't know what strongholds someone else might be having. We don't know what other situations or traumatic experiences somebody else has been through. But when we open up, when we become transparent, when we are vulnerable and courageous to share our stories, then we can see the impact that it has for someone else, but then also the impact it has on us to be able to relieve
Mhm.
that and share it. Because sometimes with us, it's a weight of pressure because we haven't exhaled.
Yes,
And a part of our exhaling is sharing.
that's so true. Absolutely.
And mhm. Yeah. So I really I commend you for that, and I thank you for being open, being willing and courageous to share your story, and even to even share the miscarriage that you had, because even a lot of women would have kept that to themselves, because
Absolutely.
it's a no, 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 I don't want to share that, or that was such a private time for me, and we're going to keep that, what happens in the house stays in the house type of mentality that we had. But for you to share it and to help liberate someone else.
That's what I'm here for. That's why I believe that God allowed me to start Optimistically Key,
Mhm.
because I get to live out my pain, but also I get to live out my hope, live out my dreams, to live
Mm.
out the way God has renewed me, the way that
Mm.
He has restored me, the way that He has delivered me, and to remind His people that He will do the same for you. He will be any and everything that you need if you just cry out to him and just open your heart and let him in and allow him to minister it to you and to heal you, so
Mm.
that you can release all of that hurt,
Yeah.
all of that pain, all of that grief that has been holding you back and holding you down. God has so much in store for you that He wants you to do, but He wants you to live freely, praising Him freely, honoring Him freely, acknowledging Him, and telling others about what He's done, because there is nothing new under the sun. So there's nothing that you have been through, or something else. Either somebody has heard it, or they've experienced it, or they live with someone. There's nothing new under the sun. So don't
Mm,
keep it to yourself, because it just may be what someone needs to get through what they're going through at that time. Your triumph may be exactly what someone else needs to survive.
so true. So true. And that was so good because you're right. Like your triumph or even just the trials that you've been through will help someone else to get through. So that is so awesome. So can you tell us more about optimistically key and you starting becoming an influencer?
So optimistically key actually came about during the pandemic. I was watching, yes, during the pandemic, I was watching all of these people going into business for themselves. I was using some of them for like cooking services and meal prep and party planning and t-shirt making, just all kinds of things, all the creative.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I want to do something too. But I was like, well, what am I good at? And then I was like, nothing. I don't have any talents. I cannot believe I don't have any. That's what I was telling myself. That's what the enemy was trying to make me believe, that I
Okay.
didn't have any talents. I just didn't know which one that God wanted me to use, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
So I was
Okay.
looking at it the wrong way. So I started asking people, what can I do? Do you know? Because I didn't have any ideas myself. And I didn't go to the one. I didn't go to God and at
Mm.
first, which is what I should have done. I should have asked him what was his plan for my life,
Yeah.
what was his will. But that's we got around to it. The long way, but we got around to it. So I started asking different people what they saw me doing, and they were like, you should do something with speaking. You're always posting spiritual quotes on social media. I was like, but those aren't my words. And they was like, it doesn't matter, just keep posting them anyway, and things of that.
Yeah.
So I kind of just built up the courage to do it. And one of my friends came into town, and she and my husband and I, we sat in the living room and just started, thinking of names, thinking of themes, thinking of hash. She was like, oh, you need 30 hashtags. 30? Why? So what? Oh my goodness, let me think on that. All of the things, and I was like, okay, well, let me think on it. And so I started writing stuff down, and I came up with something, and we were doing the names back and forth, and I would listen to what they would say, and then I wrote optimistically key down, and then I would listen to what they would say, and then I would come back to that word. And I was like,
Mm.
this is it. It just has a ring to it. But what I did know, that God was just dropping little nuggets, years prior, because when I look back, like Facebook has memories, and I would look back and see things like feeling optimistic. I went on a
Mm.
girls trip with my friends, and they named me the optimistic friend. So
Mm.
all of these things, and I didn't put it together until till now, pretty much later, much later. And so here we are, we're off with the business. Well, I didn't, it wasn't a business yet.
Yeah.
And I decided to serve the homeless. This was about
Mm.
2 weeks before Christmas. So I went out with my family. We passed out blankets. We served the homeless. And while we were there were a group of women that came, and they had shirts, and they had on matching hair, just everything. They were just so uniform. They were walking in a straight line even. And
Mm.
I said, oh, I can't come out here anymore with my name not on something, because I keep saying, when people ask me, what organization are you with? Oh, I'm just doing this with my family. I have to have my name on something. So I told my husband about it, and he didn't say anything, but he was listening. So for
Mm.
Christmas, he gave me a starter kit, yeah, a branding kit. It had t-shirts in it with optimistically key on it. It had buzzwords on it. It had journals, pens, a tote bag, just everything with mine. And I was like, this is so amazing. But
Yeah.
I can't use that because the it wasn't original. The design wasn't original. So I was like, I can't use that. And so the spirit said, well, create a logo. My
Mhm.
friend had just introduced me to Canva. So I went through Canva and did what I could do and created a logo. And then I said, well, what do I do with it now? And then I said, well, everyone loves t-shirts. So I sat down and I chose 6 buzzwords and with the corresponding Bible verse. Overcomer,
Mm-hmm.
chosen, forgiven, heal, just things that were just like uplifting to remind you of who you are in God, to remind you if
Yes.
you're having a bad day that you are resilient, that you can make it, that you are empowered. Those type of words. And so I shopped around for a t-shirt vendor and I found someone and I printed 50 t-shirts. I invested in myself and I printed 50 t-shirts and I put it on social media and in 4 days I sold out. So
Mm.
this again. So I printed 50 more t-shirts and it just went from there. And that was January 2022 of this year. And I'm about 500 t-shirts sold since January of this year.
Oh my
Yes,
goodness. That
yes.
is so wonderful.
Yes, he is so good. He just continued to bless me, and it just went from there. So it was some people would just drop different things to me because I didn't know. I've never done anything like this before. So I would hear, "You need to get an LLC." Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So then my husband, he knew the process, so he helped me with the paperwork, the
Yeah.
filing, and things of that. Because if you're selling something, that's a business.
Mm-hmm.
So, so now I need to protect myself, to make sure that I'm in order, things of that sort. And then a vendor event came up at my church, and I was like, oh, well, I need advertisement. And they have different groups on Facebook and social media. So I reached out and said, does anyone know how to make a retractable banner? Does anyone
Yeah.
know how to make a QR? Because I would see people having QR codes to accept forms of payment. So then my nephew said, oh, you need business cards. So I was like, okay, well, now I have to figure out how to make a business card. So I was right. It was just, but I was being pushed into these things, but I needed it to be set up so that
Yeah.
I can operate later. Right. So I saw the next day, I saw one of my classmates had opened up a print shop. And so I was talking to him about business cards, and he was like, well, what do you want it to go on there? And I was like, well, I don't really know. So he started asking me questions, and he said, well, how are they going to contact you? Do you have a email address? And I was like, no. And he was like, well, make one up while you're on the phone. And so that's how I got an email address. So that's pretty much been my business from day one, officially having a business till we are, just different things that will come open, God putting different people in my life along the journey to just, let me know, oh, you need to get this in order, or you need to,
Mhm.
just the little steps, because again, I don't know any entrepreneurs. I come from a single parent home. My
Mhm.
mom, she worked for a company. I don't even know if she knew that being an entrepreneur was a possibility. So I just wasn't surrounded with that type of mentality. And it's
Mhm.
a different way of thinking when it's
It is.
your own money, generating your own money, promoting yourself,
Mhm.
networking, all of the things that you have to do, making yourself vulnerable, to ask someone if they would be interested in the product that you're selling and why they need to have this product. And not all the time will they say yes. So you have to even be comfortable with rejection as well, and
Mhm.
not deterring you from that, but to keep going, because you're going to have some ups, you're going to have some downs. It's not going to be smooth. I definitely had things that I endured along the process that I'm still working through, but it's going along. I'm proud. I'm so thankful that he planted that seed in me. And now
That's so
it's
wonderful.
it's my business, but it's also my ministry.
Yes, yes. And that is so wonderful, so wonderful. So how would you encourage another woman who says that she is having obstacles or the challenges that she's going through and she really just don't see no way out? Like she feels like she is being boggled down. She's so overwhelmed. She's full of so much stress. And she's in a place where she doesn't even see any hope. She doesn't even see the light at the end of the tunnel, and she don't even see a tunnel.
Mhm.
So how would you encourage her?
Well, first of all, I would just tell her life is tough. Life
Mhm.
is going to throw you some curveballs. You're not going to be prepared for everything that comes your way, but you can make it. You can get through any and every test that you go through. Why? Because God says that He overcame the world. So,
Mhm.
because He overcame the world, you be of good cheer because you can overcome the world as well. You're an overcomer. You're going to cry. You're going to be upset. You're going to get tired. You're going to want to give and throw in the towel, but don't do it because your breakthrough, it's right there. It's right there waiting for you. If you could just hold out, if you could just ask God for strength. God says the joy of the Lord is our strength. So just really get in that word, read the word, study the word, believe what the word says. Don't just read it. You have to believe. You have to put that in your spirit and say, I am loved. I am beautiful. I do have hope. I can make it. I am unique. I'm fearfully, I'm wonderfully
Mhm.
made. God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of power and love. And so you tell yourself all of those things until you can get up, until you can say, whatever the world throws at me, even if
Mhm.
it knocks me down, I'm going to get right back up and try again because I know that I have success in me. God has a plan for me to prosper me and not to harm me, to give me a hope and a future. So I'm going to be all right. And I'm going to come out stronger
Mm.
and wiser. I'm being tested. But when I come through this test, I'm going to have a blessing on the other side. So don't forget tell yourself that every day, no matter what it is that you go through, even in the midst of your tears, say it's all right. I'm going to keep going. God's got something for me. His hand is on my life. This testimony, it's only this trial, it's only for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! Look, if y'all did not receive that encouragement, I don't even know what to tell you. But optimistically, Key, she spoke life into you. She spoke life into us. Community, she spoke life into you. So, whatever it is that you're going through, like she said, that in the midst of the tears, you can still push through. She told us about her t-shirts that she have, healed, overcomer, resilient. These are the things that are you, and these are speaking about you. She told us that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Why? Because your God says so. Your Father in heaven says so. And this is who you are. No matter what someone might tell you, no matter what it might look like, but just remember that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that you are the head and not the tail, that you are above and not beneath, and that you are a child of the Most High God. Why? Because you are so precious and you are beautiful in His sight. So even when it looks ugly for you, and even when it looks like it is just a whirlwind going on around you, like she said, in the midst of the tears, you can still push through. An encouraging word, a powerful word. And I hope that has blessed somebody because I know for a fact, no matter what our day might look like, we can all use some encouragement. We can all be optimistic or use some optimism. So, look, I have her optimistically keys, ways to connect with her. NeKedra, can you let the people also know, no, as they're strolling? I know they see it down here, but I know the community loves to hear it from the guests. How can the conversation community connect with you?
You can connect with me on social media. I post inspirational messages on Facebook and Instagram every day at Optimistically Key. I have a Facebook business page, which is Optimistically Key, the speaker, influencer. And you can reach me there as well. But I'm also on YouTube at Optimistically Key, or you can go to my website at www.okathat'sme.com. If you prefer email, it's optimisticallykey at gmail.com. I
Yeah.
would love to hear from you. If
Yeah.
if you have been touched by today's message, please reach out to me. Let me know. Go to my Facebook business page and please leave a comment. Please leave a review. I would love to hear about how you've been touched, how you received a word from God, how God spoke to you through the words that I said. If you were uplifted, please let me know that. I would love to hear from you. It encourages me to keep going to encourage you.
Mm. I love that. I love that. And optimistically key, she is the the image. She is the person of when we see the saying empower women, that is who optimistically key is. She is here to empower and encourage you. And so like she said, she loves to do it because she knows that it helps you. And like I said again, we all need some encouragement. We all can use some empowerment because today we might be up, but tomorrow we might roll over and not feel like even doing it. We can roll over and say to ourselves, I can't do this morning. So we just never know what the next day might look like. But just know that God has placed people on this earth, like optimistically key, that can encourage you and empower you and help you get through the situation, the trials, the obstacles, and the things that you're going through. So please reach out to her and speak with her. If you don't want to say anything in the comments, hey, DM her, send her an email. I know that she'll be happy and willing to share many, many things with you. So again, hey, hit her up. But I am just so happy again to have you, NeKedra, on the conversation for season two.
Yeah.
For season two, look, we had such a wonderful season one. Season one was full of so much encouragement, so much words of wisdom. It was filled with, I know for a fact, strongholds being broken. It was filled with so much inspiration, and also just people being healed and not feeling like they are alone and by themselves, because you are not by yourself. You do not have to suffer in silence. Come on over to the conversation and hear about all the obstacles and the struggles and the things that we've been through, because we're telling you that it is here in the world. Obstacles are inevitable. You're going to go through them. But hey, you have support. You have a community that's here that's going to talk you through it. So be here with us. We are here. The conversation is here now every Thursday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you are Central, it is 7:30 for you. But the conversation is here. And also, I just want to let y'all know, too, before we go, don't forget, get your journal. She is confident. You can get these. There are in 3 different colors and many, many more journals on Amazon. And just look up, go find my name, Andrea B. Flintroy, and get your journal. Journals are great ways to release, to be able to express yourselves, and just kind of let some things go. We talked about that exhaling. Journaling helps you to exhale. So, again, no matter what you're going through, you can get through it. You just need some support, and we are here to be supportive. So, but without anything else, I want to tell everyone good night. I want to say thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening. And so, one thing about it, before we get ready and go, one thing I want you to know, conversation community, is you show the world who you are and you don't allow the world to tell you who you are. You show up, you take up space, you be bold, and you let people know who you are. Because again, you are the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. So show them who you are. Y'all have a good one. Have a great evening. And I want to see y'all again next Thursday. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.